Hi, I'm rickdior, and that was a little demo of groove playing, many different kinds of grooves. I did a shuffle, I did a little halftime, pop rock feel there. I did kind of a bebop thing, and I did a samba, and finally a clave, an Afro-Cuban clave. And all of those involved splashing with my left foot, my hi-hat. This is something I spend a lot of time on, and I do a lot of teaching with it as well, teaching my students to play with their left foot splashing the hi-hat. It's a really effective voice, and to me, the hi-hat is the most expressive instrument on the drum set. I've done several videos like this, but never really one that was dedicated to just playing the hi-hat splashing with my foot. So today we're going to go over that, the different ways that I do that, and some different styles as well. Now, in my book, there's many pages that deal with this, and this is my drum set book, by the way. And pages 16 through 19 list many splash patterns with the hi-hat. So if you have the book, and I'll put some here on the screen so you can see, there's literally dozens and dozens of them. And you just spend many years going through these and strengthening that foot. Now, in my last video, the double pedal video, we talked about how playing some double bass drum stuff strengthened my foot so I could play things like this. So when you start splashing, the first thing that you're going to notice is that your calf is going to really hurt. It's going to almost burn because of the way you're coming down. So let me just explain that kind of motion to you real quick. And I have a camera down here set up so we can show you a close-up. So the first thing I do is I'm down with my foot like this, as you see, resting on the pedal. And then I come up, and I'm lifting up maybe about 2 or 3 inches, pretty high, on that pedal. Now my toe is almost to the edge of the pedal. In this case, it's a Iron Cobra pedal, hi-hat pedal. So there's a chain there, and my toe is almost touching, the toe of the shoe is almost touching that chain, but not quite, maybe an inch away from it. And I'm lifting up, and then I'm just pushing my foot down. And that's how I'm getting that splash. Now, those of you with big feet, I have size 9 feet, so they're pretty small. You may want to turn your foot to the left and move up like this. Or the right, but for me, it's easier to turn it to the left. And I do that, like I showed you in the last double kick video, when I play hi-hat and bass drum together with one foot, I'm moving to my left. All right, if you have big feet, you'll have a bigger range to do that. So that's how you get started. And you just put your hands on the drums like this. It's really important to relax, on the seat, so you're kind of planted there. You're not, jumping up or moving to the side or anything. And what you're going to do is just do this over and over. And you're putting that weight when you lift up and you drop your foot. That's not a leg movement, that's dropping your foot, like this with your hand would be. That's it, that's all it is. All right, so nothing's being forced. If you force it, it's going to probably be really hard to play the fast stuff that I was doing earlier, the really fast splashes like this. Because the length of the splash is controlled by the recovery, how fast you come back. So it's kind of like the bass drum thing where you do a pivot. But here you're doing it with your heel down and then up. So it's the same sort of thing, but a different motion. Okay, getting that double. So once you do this for a while, you're going to want to try to play some things over it. So you're going to do that on the drum set, and that's important. So for these, you can do the rhythm things that we always do, like page 7 and 8, where you're going. So I'm just improvising there, but you see how my pedal is doing open, closed, very relaxed, and I'm getting that independence with the bass drum. That is tricky when you first try it because it's a different kind of movement. Now, if those of you who have not worked on hi-hat independence just with your left foot closed, I would definitely do that first before you do the open, so you have some idea of the independence. But this motion, this open-closed motion, is a different kind of motion, doing this. So that comes with a whole different set of coordination requirements you have to work on. So you do that for a long time with all kinds of bass drum patterns. In my book, 7, 8, and 9, those pages work great for this. You can use the New Breed book, Gary Chester. You can use Louis Belson's Modern 4/4 reading text for that. Even the Odd Time book works well. No matter what you do, you've got to keep that hi-hat going and you're getting independence. And then just play something simple on top, 2 and 4 with the snare drum, and just eighth notes maybe with the ride cymbal. Now you can also do it playing jazz, playing the jazz pattern, which is. So doing those kinds of exercises, the same things that you've always worked on there, you do instead of the closed 2 and 4, which is. Now you're doing open. Then the next step is to do some different kinds of rhythms. So one that I really like, and I've showed you this in some other videos, is the 3/4 pattern with my hi-hat, like this. And for that, I'm just dropping the foot once again and then doing 2 hits with my toe. Now, sometimes it takes a minute to get in the right position when you first start out. You got to kind of fish around for it. But after a while, it'll become intuitive and your leg will feel it. So the same kind of thing goes for this. If you get that going. So I went there from just a basic halftime rock thing to a swing thing again, kind of a bebop thing, keeping that left foot going. So once again, all styles. You could even do it with a samba. So. All of these things work. They're all in the book. There's a couple pages, pages 37 and 38, where I have 25 different foot ostinatos. And again, we've done some videos on this, where you're playing these ostinatos and soloing. And in my book, there's about 11 solos transcribed, and they're on the CD as well, where I play solos over these kinds of ostinatos. So you want to probably check that out. But the main thing is to get that strength first, and you do that by doing these different patterns over and over again as independence exercises on the drum set. Now let's talk about short splashes, because these give guys and gals a lot of problems. So a short splash is done with a really fast movement of the foot. It sounds like this. So the foot's going heel toe, heel toe, heel toe, like that. So it's basically just like what you were doing before, but now you're going much faster. Now the goal there is to not get the second beat very loud. So it's kind of like choking a cymbal. What that does for you, it gives you all kinds of things to do with your left foot with long notes. So you saw in that demo I played some clave, so So you see there you're able to phrase within a rhythm, with that clave, and you're keeping it rhythmic. So, in other words, that note that would come down like this is now gone, and you're doing this. So you have this really long sound that you can use on that foot. Now, one other thing you could do with brushes is you can get this going and do the same thing. Just try to fill in. So you see there, I'm using my hi-hat as actually another limb to play those things, long, short notes. And you can do that if you're reading a chart and the horns are playing long and short notes. You can catch that with your hi-hat. Really, really effective. All right? So the way you practice that, once again, is just like before. You just start out. And instead of doing this, now you're ghosting that second note. You're barely closing it. Now, another pattern you can do that's interesting is a triplet, a big triplet over this samba bass drum, which sounds like this. So you see there, I'm playing like almost a half note triplet over that. And that's a polyrhythmic thing, where you're doing open, close, open, close, open, close, back and forth, but with the triplet phrasing. So. You're stretching the rhythm. And those things are extremely difficult, but that's the kind of stuff that I practice a lot. So there's different kinds of metric things going on the drum set. So I'll play a little for you, and I hope you enjoyed this. This is a big topic, but if you have any questions, as always, just email me or send me some comments, and I'll do my best to answer them. Thanks.